I don't have opinions. I have demonstrable facts. These facts are validated and these facts are repeatable. Fact number one, no one has ever shown that human emissions of carbon dioxide drive global warming. Never been shown. And if it could be shown, then you would have to show that the 97% of emissions, which are natural, do not drive global warming. Game over. We are dealing with a fraud. It's a scientific fraud from day one. We hear the propaganda that increases of the gas of life, a trace gas in the atmosphere, will bring a disaster and that we will have runaway global warming. Sorry folks, we've known for 200 years from chemistry that it's the exact inverse. When we drill into ice, we have chemical fingerprints that tell us what the temperature was, and we have little bits of trapped air. And we can show that when we had natural warming, some 650 to 6,000 years later, we had an increase in carbon dioxide. It's not carbon dioxide that drives temperature, it's the exact inverse. Another fraud. We never hear about the major greenhouse gas, which is water vapour. And water vapour has a remarkable property, this weird water. When we evaporate water, we need energy to do that. Now, the Greens don't know this because they never get up a sweat. And when you get up a sweat, you feel that your skin is cool because you're taking energy to evaporate that water. And when you precipitate that water, as rain, snow or ice, it gives out energy, exactly the same amount that it took up. It is water vapour, and water, clouds, whatever form it's in, are the air conditioner of our planet's atmosphere. It isn't a trace gas, which is why the 115 models don't work. This is because they are trying to create a model that proves that carbon dioxide is doom and gloom. And we've had these sort of predictions for a long time. And in this absolutely wonderful tome, I have a chapter devoted to predictions. And I've looked at 2,000 years of predictions, people predicting the end of the world. And we've had thousands of highly qualified, eminent people predicting the end of the world. If just one of these was correct, we wouldn't be here. So there's only one type of prediction you can make which is correct, and that is if someone's predicting the end of the world, knocks on your door, sool the dog onto them because you've got history on your side. And we hear about climate scientists, whatever that is. Now, in geology, we have a 250-year track record of arguing about climate. Textbooks are full of it. We've been labouring about climate for a long while, and then there's this sudden new invention of climate science. And I had some of these when I was head of department at the University of Melbourne, and these are embittered, obscure, unemployable academics funded by your taxes, and those taxes are to fund these people's hobbies, and the end result of that is that they put good people out of work and they cost our nation trillions. So there's one group of people that use models, another group of people, I mean, this is really sinful, we use evidence. And the two are not in accord. And if they're not in accord, you've got to throw out the models, which we've seen time and time again are incorrect. So we can look back in the past and we can see that we've had 6 great ice ages. During that ice age, we'll have the ice expand, that's a glaciation, or it will contract, that's an interglacial. We are currently in an interglacial, of an ice age that started on a Thursday 34 million years ago. And the ice has come and gone. In our last interglacial, sea level was about 7 metres higher. Temperature was about 5 degrees warmer. So if someone says, oh, this is the hottest day on record, you have to ask, since when? If it's the hottest day in the last 120,000 years, then that is a record. But since when? So if we go to the peak of our interglacial, which was about 4,000 years ago, it was about 5 degrees warmer. So it's cooler than the hottest temperature on record. If we go to the time of Jesus, when it was warm, it's about 4 degrees cooler than then. If we go to the Dark Ages, go to the Viking Age, we've actually warmed up since then. If we go to the medieval warming, we've cooled down since then. And if we go to the Little Ice Age, we've warmed up since then. So since when? And I know this is going to surprise you, but we've just come out of a Little Ice Age. What do you think temperature's going to do? Fall or rise? It's been rising since the Maunder minimum more than 300 years ago. So it is no surprise that if you have cut-off times for temperature or for sea level or for hurricanes or whatever, you can spin whatever yarn you want to spin. These 6 great ice ages started when we had more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than now. We have 0.04% of that gas in the atmosphere, which is meant to be a pollutant, which is colourless, odourless and tasteless. But this pollutant is meant to kill you. Now, gentlemen, please don't listen to this. We have a problem with a crisis. It's not a crisis of climate. It's a crisis of common sense. It's a crisis of government policy. It's a crisis of education. And we hear words like emissions. Well, that means nothing to me because the atmosphere has changed in its carbon dioxide content from over 20% to now, which is really low in geological time. If we halved it, all plant life would die and animals would die.